Dear Harstem, Zerg mechanics are just unfair. I mercilessly harass my opponent, slaughtering drone after drone with a righteous fury. I massacred 35 drones in the early game and 58 by the mid game, but it's so easy for Zerg to recover. Doing economic damage is pointless. I know my third was super late, but I thought I had done enough damage to go for the win. Silly me. I forgot to factor in that Zerg is straight up broken. He didn't harass me at all, he did nothing the entire time. He killed only one probe, and yet he can just mass units and win. And then my opponent had the gall to taunt me when he did nothing and only abused the most OP unit in the game. I recall that in a recent video you mentioned that the way to handle a muta switch is to chrono phoenixes out of a single Stargate. I did that, and let me tell you, it did not work. So the question is, maybe I suck, but don't you too? For bad advice? Alright, it's personal now. What's your name? Protoss, Diamond, NA, 3.7k MMR. Your name is Art Van Delay. Let's get going then, huh? If Muralisk is so overpowered, you did infinite damage, but it just didn't matter. Let's have a look what you do. Let's see how freaking perfect you are, buddy. Because if you start talking about bad advice, then well, perhaps it is bad advice. You know, I'm gonna be objective here. I gotta be objective. It could very well be bad advice. It is possible that I was wrong, and all other pro players that ever played StarCraft 2 that played against Mura with Protoss have been wrong, and that Phoenix actually isn't a counter, and that perhaps we need to figure out something else. That is entirely possible, of course. And I'm open to that suggestion. I'm open to it. And I'm just gonna go in with an open mind. I'm gonna be like, alright, what's happening here? And yeah, maybe Blink Stalkers better. Maybe Mass Archons in Prisms with speed is the way to chase Muralisk. It's all possible, my friend. It is all possible. But it's also possible that the Phoenix is just the correct choice. And maybe you've made a mistake. Now, you're starting with a nice little build order. You're blocking the natural. Get your gateway in front, follow open a simulator. This should be rally down. This is looking very good. This is a beautiful build order. This is a work of art, I would say. This build order so far, you're playing absolutely perfect. You get your 20 Nexus, gonna follow it up with, well, hopefully a Cybercore at 20 as well. And then you'll get your gas, your pylon, all that good jazz. Now we have the spawning pool for our opponent. Opponent, of course, rightfully so annoyed by the fact that his natural got blocked, takes his natural at the third base. You continue blocking. He's gonna send down another drone, he wants to take it. I mean, once he sees that there's a... Oh, he's gonna take this base. Okay, well, this is highly uncommon, but he probably isn't that bothered. He's like, you know what, I don't give a crap what you do. Meanwhile, you're doing actually a fantastic job following a build order. I'm happy to see this. The first 2 minutes are practically perfect. This is the start of something great, my friend. And if you're going to continue this level for the rest of the game, perhaps the Phoenix is not the counter to the Muralisk. He's getting 3 hatches. 4 hatcheries. The macro monster. This means this delays his queens, by the way. Usually it means your adepts have a lot of fighting power, and so does your first oracle. Okay. Okay, maybe he didn't open Stargate. I thought because he was talking about Phoenixes, he was gonna open Stargate, but he gets a warp gate before the Stargate, before any tech. Okay, still gets Stargate. Okay, that's a little bit weird. Now, I said earlier if the build looked like a work of art. Now, if this was a work of art at this point, you might have spilled a little bit of ketchup on it. You know, you were drawing the Mona Lisa and you're eating a burger. You put a little bit of ketchup on it. Happens to the best. It's not the worst, you know. Accidentally got the warp gate before the Stargate. It's okay. I can live with that. I say, you know, we all like burgers. We all like ketchup. A little bit of ketchup on the Mona Lisa. What's the worst? Not much. Now, let's continue though. Second gate goes down. This is all fine. 2 adepts moving across the map. Not the highest speed adepts. You're not that quick with them. Walking. The movement isn't brilliant either, but you know, it's... He actually lost one. It's still okay. It's fine. Okay, you get a drone, you lose 2 adapts. Sure, it's not worth it. Sure, you lose all map control. Taking a third is gonna be very difficult, but you're sending a probe across the map. I can still kind of. Perhaps you spilled part of the burger on the Mona Lisa at this point as well, and some of the juices from the burger are leaking on. Because instead of using a plate, you decided to actually use your painting as a plate. And it's a small mistake. It's okay. As long... Charge. Alright. So usually what you do here is you follow it up with a nexus. And then... If this one gets all these kills, I'm gonna be upset. Okay, yeah, it doesn't. This Zerg is not playing poor. His builder is really bad, but the rest of it is pretty okay. Yeah, but what you're doing doesn't make a lot of sense. Straight charge from Stargate, no third base, meaning that any type of damage you're gonna do is gonna be kind of negated, because everything you can do from 2 base is practically an all-in. So as long as the Zerg stays with a worker count above yours, or even slightly lower is fine, like 42, 43, as long as they have enough units to not die, it doesn't really matter what you do. Now, I'm gonna assume that these 2 oracles are gonna put on the herd, and they're gonna do a crap ton of damage. Okay, you're just all-inning. This is, at this point, this is just an all-in. You're gonna be on 7 gate, Twilight, 4 gas, 46 workers. Killing workers at this point is nice, because your all-in is gonna be more difficult to stop. But we shouldn't be pretending at this point that you're playing a macro game, okay? So you can't play a macro game at this point and then go, hey, wait a second, I killed a lot of drones. Like, he just rebuilds the drones. He hasn't built a single unit. He built nine links at this point. Built 9 links. He's going straight into Spire. He's on 4 base. He's macroing pretty well. You see the supplies are equal. His gas income is absolutely bananas. Here comes a bit of a... What is this? What is this? 5 zealots? 3 oracles? You have 7 gates. And you only have 6 units. How do you prepare for an all-in and then not even use all the structures that you build? Whenever you use an all-in or a build and you build a lot of gateways, you want to usually use them at least twice before you attack. Because otherwise it's probably better to just continuously warp in from 2 gateways. I have a build at which I get a third base, I get a Twilight Council, and I go Glaives. And I open with 2 Oracle, and then at 5:45, I hit with 8 Adepts with Glaives. And I do this off of 2 gates. 2 gates. You have 7 gates. And you hit with 5 Zealots and a Stalker. I don't even know how that is possible. By the way, for reference, when I do my build with the Glaives, my third base is done, and at this point I'd have 66 probes with 6 gases. Your builder is... Okay, at this point, you got your bottle of ketchup and you're just squirting it on the Mona Lisa. Here you go. You're hungry? You actually do a crap ton of damage again. But you can't finish the game. Well, in theory you could finish the game with this. You have 5 zealots and the opponent has no units. And is building a single Mutalisk. I was going to say it's impossible to finish the game with this because you actually have 0 DPS. Like you have no units, but your opponent actually has no units. None. There's 9 links. You have 12 zealots. And now there's a single Mutalisk. And you're already building phoenixes. Where's that first phoenix? Where are you? Okay, over here. Stalker stays home. You have no reinforcement with this push, but I don't even think it's gonna matter. You're just gonna win the game. You're up 30 supply. You killed 35 workers. Okay, you go for drones. I don't understand this move at all. Why don't you just fight the units? Are you running away from 7 links? Maybe if I hide in the corner behind this mineral natural line, that will do it. Okay, now there's a lot of mutas. And even at this point, I still think you're in an okay spot. There's 11 mutas, you have 3 phoenixes. If you micro your phoenix as well, you're definitely still winning. Now, of course, it's an issue that you're still on freaking 2 base, because this means that a double forge. This is so sick. You hit a timing with 8 gateway units, 10 gateway units, then you realize it's mass air, and once you realize it's mass air, you're like, huh, perhaps upgrades. Not for my phoenixes, for my ground unit. You do get a fleet beacon, which is good. You should be getting +1 as well. I don't even really mind these zealot run-bys. They're kind of nice. Once again, no reinforcements with this, which really sucks. Still no 3rd base, even though we're 8 minutes in game. Should be working on a 4th at this point already. Your phoenixes are really not doing anything. You can constantly be kiting these mutalisks. They're not a straight up fighting unit. They're your unit that you use. Okay. I think... okay, I'll admit. I think my advice was incorrect. For someone like you, with your skill set in life, phoenixes probably are not the way. But a lot of things that other people would be able to use the phoenix. But for you, I agree, this is not it. It would be similar as if, imagine you're trying to hit a nail. You're trying to hang up a painting, your Mona Lisa with ketchup, burger juices, maybe a little bit of mustard at this point, some lettuce. I don't know what you've been doing. Trying to hang it up. You think it's a beautiful painting. And you have a nail, you have your painting. And you ask me, hey Kevin, what do you think is the best way to get this nail in the wall? And I go like, oh, I think a hammer is a decent tool. You get a hammer. Alright, hammer sounds good. You grab the hammer. You hit yourself in the testicles and accidentally castrate yourself. Now, did I recommend you to use the hammer? Yes. Did it end up making you infertile? Yes. Am I really at fault though? Can you really blame me for you hitting yourself in the testicles? I don't know. It's one of these moral questions, you know? I'm not sure what the answer is. Perhaps the answer is yes. Perhaps I'm at fault. In that case, I'm sorry. I'm willing to take responsibility for this. I'm the bigger man here. Truly, I'm 6'5". You're most likely not as tall. Matter of statistics. You just stand there with your phoenixes, taking the brunt of the mutalisk damage. You haven't taken it like... You're getting phoenix range now though. I feel like it doesn't matter how much range you have, because you're just gonna stand there. If you have a sniper rifle, you'd walk up with the guy and hit him with your gun. He's like, well, it doesn't have a lot of range. No, it does. You just didn't use it. It makes absolutely no sense. Well, I like this prism though. The problem is that he has 17 mutas and you have 4 units. Look how scared he is. He's like, I can't believe this is truly happening. I lost like 50 work. How many workers did you kill? You actually killed 58 workers. I'm loving the cyber core. I'm also loving that you're floating 1500 resources total, even though you have 9 production structures on 1500 mineral income. I don't even know how that is possible. And you also have 2 forges spinning. It's like, this is good. This is good. You did a good job here with the harass. But here, you're using the phoenixes now. Why couldn't you do this earlier? Oh, never mind. Temporarily brain outage. What these two are up to. Just kind of forgot about them maybe. There's no spores either. Like, these guys could be super useful. You killed 58. You could have killed 75, 80 workers. You're actually almost winning still, which is pretty sick to see. Like, I almost feel like I want to say toss is Imba after watching this game, because I know the Zerg hasn't done a lot of things technically correct, but his macro and his responses have been pretty okay, honestly. You know, he's actually been playing the game, and you're still in it. Which means that sometimes you probably win games like this, which actually makes me a little bit upset. I don't think that's supposed to happen in StarCraft 2. When someone plays like you, if someone possesses the skill set that you have, I don't think they should be allowed to get to diamond. I think I might want to turn this one around on you. I think I just might, because why are you still in here? No upgrades, by the way, for the Phoenixes. Even though Phoenixes have double attack, upgrades are really, really sick on Phoenixes. It's one of the best things to have for them. You're doing good micro now. This is not bad art, but the problem here is really that you just have 16 supply against 112. Okay, that was not great micro. He's +2 on his mutas as well. He's getting corruptors. 11 more drones. 83 drones down. No problem. You just rebuild them. You couldn't even get a third base down. Not in 12 minutes. Well, you just tried. Just berserk. This guy's a massive prick. Holy crap. Lymphaio. DOS. Oh no. We've seen it all now. This is good. This is good. Alright, that guy is a bit of a prick. I'll give you that. You didn't completely deserve it. Just a little bit though. So if you think back of the early game, your first 3 minutes were fantastic. After that, you went completely off the rails. It's, you know, if this game was your life, then I'm worried for the people around you, because the first 14, 15 years were fine, then you went straight to juvie and never left again. Like, that's just it, you know? Like, you built the Twilight Council, and I was still kind of hopeful you were going to get glaives. Then you got charged. I knew it was all downhill from there, and it really was. No third base, too many gateways before any eco, but also even while you're doing your attack, you had no prison, not even a pylon for reinforcement. A lot of the time your phoenixes were at home, especially in the early phase. There was 11 mutas, you had 3 phoenixes at home, not helping with the fight. Then when you started using the phoenixes, you just used them as a straight up fighting tool. I doubt you even have them hotkeyed separately, which made it absolutely impossible for you to micro. You didn't kite once. The zealot moves a lot of the time were quite bad, honestly. Your oracles idled for about 10 minutes over here, even though they could have killed 35 more workers. You didn't get any upgrades on your air. Your upgrades for ground only started once you had no ground units left. Do I need to keep going? I don't think so. I think we all know the answer. You suck. And you suck real hard, my friend. Alright. That's gonna be it for today's episode of Is It Imba or Do I Suck? Where we have another person who sucked. Big surprise. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Videos down here. And smash the thumbs like. Hit like button and good. Alright. Bye bye. Love you all.